Welcome everybody to Canadian Yoga here, and I am back with a video talking to you guys about a pretty interesting story coming in, and this story just happened just this week. Crazy story, and basically it happened in my home country of Canada. Quite an amazing story at the same time too. So this article was written on aljazeera.com. This video is not a sports video. It's not a combat sports video. Not a science video. This is a video on just breaking news. Basically about a plane crash that happened in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Written on aljazeera.com, written just uh, just about yesterday. This accident happened, just about yesterday, the day before. So it says here, Toronto Delta plane crash, why aircraft flipped upside down on landing. The Delta flight 4819, originating from Minnesota, crash lands at Toronto Airport amid strong winds and snowstorm. All but 80 survive. What a miracle. Let's read the article. A Delta Airlines plane has crash landed in Toronto, Canada's largest city, but all 80 people on board have survived. At least 18 people were injured after the plane flipped upside down as it landed on the Toronto Pearson International Airport on Monday amid windy weather following a snowstorm. Here is more about the crash that adds to a series of recent aviation mishaps. What happened and when? Delta Flight 4819, originating from Minneapolis-St.Paul International Airport in the U.S. state of Minnesota, crash landed on the runway at about 3:30 p.m. on Monday. The plane, CRJ 900, was manufactured by Canadian aerospace company Bombardier, while the aircraft burst into flames, prompting fire crews to extinguish them. The fuselage of the plane remains largely intact. Social media footage showed the people leaving the flipped airplane and walking across the tarmac, shielding themselves from snowfall and strong winds. So, continuing, what caused the aircraft to flip upon landing? Experts say a plane flipping upside down is unusual but not unknown. They speculate that this happened due to the snowy, windy Toronto weather. Aviation expert Scott Hamilton told Newsweek magazine that the strong winds and snow could have played a role in flipping over the airplane. He added that the flipping can be caused by factors including weather conditions, speed of approach, anomalies in braking, and thruster viability. John Cox, CEO of aviation safety consulting firm Safety Operating Systems in St. Petersburg, Florida, said, quote, "We've seen a couple of cases of takeoffs where aerial planes have ended up inverted, but it's pretty rare." He was quoted by saying this to the Associated Press news agency. Cox, John Cox, who was a pilot, flew with USA Air for 25 years and said the CRJ 900 is equipped to handle weather like this. He said among the questions that need to be answered is why the crashed aircraft was missing its right wing. While authorities have not revealed the exact cause of the crash, Toronto was experiencing winter storms with strong winds and heavy snow. Around the time of landing, strong gusts of 65 kilometers per hour, about 40 miles per hour, were blowing through the snow. Around 22 centimeters, or 8.7 inches of snow, blanketed the airport over the weekend. Snow had also fallen the week before. Audio recordings reveal that the control tower warned the pilots of a potential bump in airflow upon approach. What do we know about the passengers? There were 76 passengers and 4 crew on the plane. Toronto Pearson Fire Chief Todd Atkin said 18 injured passengers were taken to the hospital. However, Ontario-based air ambulance service Orange said on Monday that a child, a man in his 60s, and a woman in her 40s were critically injured. It said the child was taken to Toronto Sick Kids Hospital, and the adults were taken to the other hospitals in the city. What is the current status of the investigation? The transportation is putting together a team of investigators to probe the crash. Now, flights have resumed at the airport. Air authorities warned that there could be operational delays since 2 runways have been closed for investigation. In a late news conference on Monday, Atkins said the cause of the crash is still under investigation and being led by the Transportation Safety Board. It's not appropriate for us to comment at this time. What have authorities said? Canadian authorities held 2 news conferences but did not provide details on why the crash took place. Deborah Flint, the CEO of Greater Toronto Airports Authority, said people on board had relatively minor injuries. 17 minor passengers were taken to local area hospitals. At this time, we do not know of any of those passengers having critical injuries, she told reporters at a news conference. She also said, no airport CEO wants to have these types of press conferences, but this is exactly what our emergency, our operations, and our first responders have all practice has paid for. She added, and again, Deborah Flint said, and again, this outcome is due in part to their heroic work, and I thank them profusely. The airport provided an update later that an 18th passenger has been transported to the hospital. Flint's account differs from what Orange Air Ambulance said about 3 critically injured passengers. It is unclear why the accounts of the conditions of the injured differed. Alright, guys, so there we have it. We had people actually surviving a plane crash. A plane flipped upside down, landed upside down, and you got 3 critically injured people, 18 people injured in all, but 3 critically injured, 15 in the hospital. So thoughts and prayers go out to those who were injured, and they pray that they make a safe recovery, and also for those 3 critically injured individuals. Also, my thoughts and prayers, our thoughts and prayers go out to all those who were injured in the plane crash. I mean, that is a miracle that all people in the crash survived the crash. Hopefully everybody survived it and is able to move on with their lives from this episode and experience, because I mean, there was definitely, I remember the plane crash that happened in South Korea not too long ago, that crashed into that concrete wall, and everybody died in that crash. And there were some other crashes that happened last year. It's terrible whenever you have plane crashes that happen, because nobody ever survives a plane crash. It's a terrible, terrible experience. I guess that's why some people prefer not to do planes, not to travel by plane. Some people prefer to just drive. But I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna say that plane crashes happen all the time, but they happen because of faulty things that happen with the plane. The plane equipment fails, or a bird hits the rotors on the plane, the wings. There's all kinds of things that can happen on a plane that can cause a plane to crash. But you have trained pilots that can definitely make sure that the plane is able to land safely. And then I do remember there was an episode back, I forget the year, it was like 10 years ago, in the 2010s, there was a plane that crashed. That it didn't crash, but it stopped working, and the pilot had to land the plane. He actually landed the plane, I believe, in New York City. Landed it right on the Hudson River, if I'm not mistaken. in New York City. I can't remember where it was, but everybody managed to survive that uh, plane crash, because I think that pilot was a trained World War II vet, and he managed to land the plane safely. Um, so there are stories of planes crashing, people dying, but also people surviving at the same time. But thank God that people survived this plane crash in Toronto, um, and nobody, people were hurt, but hopefully, and thoughts and prayers with everybody out there, that they will make a swift and safe recovery, and just be able to continue on with their lives as usual. Um, Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and see you later.